So back in the day, did you ever have a friend and like you really became like really excellent friends? And I mean, maybe even inseparable, probably when you were in school, high school, even grammar school, and you thought the day would never come, never ever come that you would stop being friends, or perhaps maybe somebody, like an in-law in the family or something to that effect, and for some reason you get to be like really good friends, and then for whatever the reason it just like kind of like stops. I'm convinced that there are seasons in our lives for everything. There are seasons in our lives for everything. There are seasons in our lives like the weather, okay? Like we have winter, spring, summer, and fall. Clearly, especially in this area of the country, there are definitely clearly defined different seasons, different changes, different things that we or I personally would expect to happen in this area of the country every single change of season. I am convinced. And sometimes the hardest part of when you stop being friends with that person, or you don't even know why you're not friends with that person any longer, you just go your own way and you're scratching your head and you're saying to yourself, well, what happened? What happened? But also, the most difficult part is from the time that you're really good friends with the person, and then all of a sudden you're not such good friends, you don't even keep in touch. But the difficult part is the be in between part, the when you're changing, the changing of the season, the times of change. You don't understand what happened. So, too, I do believe that many of us go into and throughout our lives financial seasons. Clearly. There's the early seasons in our lives when we don't know too much about how to make money, how to handle money. Sometimes when we're younger, sometimes younger people could teach us, all of us, a thing or two. It all depends on the situation. But there are seasons in our life. Some years we go through years of lack. Some years we go through years of abundance. Some years we just go on an even keel, which is also, in my opinion, a wonderful place to be. But that's how I feel about that. So sometimes we really want things, and for some reason, no matter what we do, we're doing all the right things. I mean, we're trying our very best to save up for and to obtain those things. And then, oops, turn around, something happens, and then you can't get that item or items or the goal that you wanted to hit because you had to reallocate the funds to whatever that unexpected challenge, financial challenge that came up. Seasons. We go through seasons. Well, what can we do about this? Well, the friendship one, that's a tough one. Sometimes you have to let things go, and sometimes you have to accept it's not going to happen, even with money and even with material things. Sometimes some friends in your life, even though you may love them to pieces, they're not really the greatest for you. Sometimes certain friendships and relationships are literally toxic. I'm just saying. And it's a difficult period of time when one acknowledges, something, this is not a great friendship for me to remain in. It's tough decisions sometimes. And then from the time you make the decision to the time you actually work it out, that's a very tough thing to do. So too with money. I come to the conclusion that perhaps it's not our season to get that great big shiny car or that humongous house or whatever it is. Sometimes the timing in our lives beyond any expectation that we can see, feel, or understand, even if we did all the right things, even if we crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's, perhaps certain things are just not the right season. It's like when you're a kid and you keep begging your parents for that beautiful bicycle, and your parents say, no, not now. They may know something better than you do about the reason for the not now, and you may not get the bike you want at that time. But then when the time is right and the season is right and you get the bike and the thing works out, sometimes we don't get that bike. That's just the way it is. I think all of us have to really practice that there are going to be times in life that unfortunately it is not the right season for that thing that we want. Be a little patient, keep working harder, see if it comes to fruition one day. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But we have to always remember one thing: things happen for a reason, and things happen in a season.